Hey guys, it's Rob here and welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to talk about the latest Nintendo Switch news that has happened in the past couple days. Nintendo is doing something pretty interesting when it comes to the Nintendo Switch online service, and I have a couple thoughts on that. Is this something for the Nintendo Switch 2? Is this something for the original Nintendo Switch? Will it go into effect before the Nintendo Switch 2? Or maybe it doesn't have to do with the Nintendo Switch 2. It's pretty interesting, especially since people are under an NDA, which is really weird if it's just for the Nintendo Switch online service, right? If you guys want to be kept up on the latest Nintendo Switch news, leaks, and rumors, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel because there is going to be some Nintendo Switch stuff probably coming soon, hopefully in October, so make sure you're subscribed. So the Nintendo Switch 2 has been a pretty big topic, but one topic that I think that a lot of people didn't expect to be talking about is the Nintendo Switch online service. When it comes to the Nintendo Switch online service, I personally feel that there's a lot of room for improvement, and it seems something pretty big is going to end up coming to the Nintendo Switch online service. Nintendo is calling it the Nintendo Switch Online Playtest Program. So over on the website, this is what their website says. We will perform a test called Nintendo Switch Online Playtest Program related to a new feature for the Nintendo Switch Online service offered for the Nintendo Switch system. So right off the bat, this probably doesn't have to do anything with the Nintendo Switch 2, or at the very least, we won't see it on the Nintendo Switch 2 yet because obviously it's not out yet. Now it does sound like this is going to be available before the Nintendo Switch 2 because they just say the Nintendo Switch system, but we'll see on that. Anyways, continuing, we will recruit people to participate in this test from customers who have an active online Nintendo Switch expansion pack membership. Customers will need to download exclusive software to the Nintendo Switch system in order to participate. Please review the application guidelines before applying. Now this was on the 9th, and at the time of the release of this video, it's already going to be past that time, but the interesting thing here is people have to apply and also sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, meaning anyone who talks about this can get in trouble. Now why would they do that? This has to be pretty significant if it is something new coming to the Nintendo Switch online service. Usually when it comes to something that has to be added to the Nintendo Switch, whether it be the online or some kind of new feature, it's just either in an update. They never have something this much of a secret where you have to sign an NDA, and if you talk about it or leak it, you're gonna get in trouble. I mean, how you had to apply to this for participants in Japan anyways was chosen via a raffle, which is actually kind of weird. And participants outside of Japan were chosen on a first come first served basis. And it's only 10,000 participants. Now keep in mind, the Nintendo Switch install base is over 140 million at this point. Even if we were to take away the double Switches that people own, that's still a pretty big install base. The fact that only 10,000 participants can participate in this is pretty huge. It must be something pretty big. Now this is only running until the 5th of next month. So the one thing that everyone's been wondering is, what the heck is this thing? Well, Fran Darkstar on Twitter has gathered some information on this, on some changes that have happened to the Nintendo Switch online service currently. The tweet says, Nintendo is running a playtest exclusively for Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pack members in select regions. A firmware update was put out recently that broke GameCube adapters, which gets me really excited. The only notable F-Zero game missing from the Switch right now is F-Zero GX. So one thing that this could be is for the Nintendo Switch GameCube. If it broke some of the adapters for the GameCube controller, we know that Nintendo still wants to put more systems on the Nintendo Switch online service, and they want to increase the value of the Nintendo Switch online service. And this isn't really the only thing that points towards GameCube coming to the Nintendo Switch online service. If you guys remember, something with the Nintendo Switch online service when it comes to GameCube games did appear. So back in January of 2024, My Nintendo News had this to say on a recent news piece, or not recent news piece, past news piece. Nintendo recently filed a number of GameCube related trademarks here in the UK, prompting speculation that GameCube games could come to the next series of games added to the Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pack subscriptions. Now, of course, that's just a small thing and that happened a year ago, but the fact that the GameCube controllers are having trouble with the Nintendo Switch does it make you wonder if Nintendo is doing something with these trademarks. Are they going to be making their own GameCube games for the Nintendo Switch Online service and also adding GameCube games to the Switch Online service? Now, there is another option here that people have, and it's completely different, especially since they're having people download an app. One thing that I think a lot of us do miss is Miiverse. Okay, maybe just me, but I know there are some other people who miss it just like me. And that's another thing that people are wondering. Is this gonna end up being something that comes to the Nintendo Switch, Miiverse? We know the Nintendo Switch 2 definitely needs a lot of new things to attract people to that platform, or at least to buy Nintendo Switches and to keep things going. One thing that I've always wondered is, how is Nintendo gonna keep the Nintendo Switch brand going? Because once that Nintendo Switch 2 drops, obviously the Nintendo Switch, unless they're doing like a price cut, is gonna go gonna go pretty far down in terms of sales for the original Nintendo Switch, unless the software is just so amazing that even people who don't want the Nintendo Switch 2 or want a cheaper option will go for the Nintendo Switch Lite, or Nintendo Switch OLED. But maybe this is for Miiverse. Bringing that back would be pretty cool, especially if they announce it during that Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Now, another option that this could be is just for the Nintendo Switch 2. I don't know specifically what you would do with the Nintendo Switch 2 where you have to sign an NDA and it works on the current Nintendo Switch, because if it's Nintendo Switch 2 specific and it can only be done by the Switch 2, you wouldn't be having 10,000 people playtest that. You would have people actually come to, I don't know, Nintendo of America or something where you would playtest the Nintendo Switch 2. So that wouldn't make any sense. So it couldn't be something that's specifically for the Nintendo Switch 2. It would have to be something that's done on the original Nintendo Switch and can be done on the Switch 2. If that NDA wasn't there, I wouldn't even mention the Nintendo Switch 2 at all, but the fact that the NDA is there, it must be something pretty substantial, which is why I think it's something for the Nintendo Switch 2, or even if it was GameCube games. Let's say it's GameCube games. Why would you need an NDA to do that, right? I don't see a world where Nintendo would make people sign an NDA while signing up, especially 10,000 people. I mean, let's be honest, people are gonna just talk about that online. People have done a lot more for a lot less. So there's going to be at least one person that comes out and says what they're talking about. But if this does have to do with the Nintendo Switch 2, and that's why the NDA is being signed, because they don't want any Nintendo Switch 2 information coming out, what would that be? Well, again, maybe it could be Miiverse, and maybe something that they're playtesting because it is a specific app. Maybe it has stuff from the Nintendo Switch 2. Some kind of feature that also works on the Nintendo Switch, something that has to do with the console. Maybe it's a UI, maybe the Nintendo Switch 2 is mentioned. Maybe it's even revealed as like an icon or something from that program that they're supposed to download on their Nintendo Switch. And the reason why they gotta sign that NDA is so people don't go leaking stuff about the Switch 2. You know what I mean? Like UI elements, pictures, maybe information about the things, maybe even games that are gonna appear on the Nintendo Switch 2 announced around that time. There's a whole bunch of information if they end up having anything about the Switch 2 or stuff that's supposed to come around that time of the Switch 2 that people could be talking about if they didn't sign that NDA, and maybe that's why that NDA is there. Again, a lot of this is just speculation because Nintendo is just being so secretive about this. We don't know anything about this. This could be something so small and so insignificant that it doesn't have anything to do that's anything big. But I highly doubt that because, again, the NDA. What do you guys think this is? Do you think it's GameCube? Do you think it's Switch 2 related? Do you think it's something for Miiverse? I just actually had a thought. What if this is an app for backwards compatibility and they're play testing it on Switch consoles? You know what I mean? Like an emulator that you have to download onto the Switch, because people who have Nintendo Switches already have Nintendo Switch games. I don't know, that was just a random thought I had at the end of the video. Maybe it is something for backwards compatibility. I don't know. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below and what you think this is.